Those are the two things that I used to define my success.
All right, welcome back. Today in the studio we have Bentley. Welcome, bro.
Thank you.
Thanks for
Glad to be here.
Thanks for taking the time to come and chat with me. I just met Bentley a couple days ago at a farewell, and he's a friend of a friend, and I know he served a mission, and that's about it. He recently returned home. When did you come home?
I've been back for like 6 weeks now. I got back
Oh,
at the
no
beginning
way.
of July. Yeah.
Okay, so like
Pretty fresh.
super
still.
fresh.
Yeah.
Well, you're all fitted out. You look like
Yeah,
you just
thanks.
hopped right back into it, bro.
Thank you.
Let's go. Let's hop right into it. Tell me where you're from in the process of deciding to go on a mission.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, just kind of lay the land for me.
Yeah. So I'm from Utah. I grew up in Sandy.
Okay.
Been there my whole life. I was raised a member of the church. So I always grew up with the idea that, when you graduate high school, you go on a mission. That's just what you do. And so I always had a desire to. But I didn't really know what it looked like until about my senior year, when I was starting my senior year in high school. That's kind of when I decided for myself, really, that I wanted to serve.
Cool.
Yeah. And so from that point, I was just doing everything I could to serve, to get to that point. And there was a few other things that came up. But I already made the decision at that, that I was going to go.
Yeah. How old were you when you kind of made that official decision?
Yeah.
Like, I want to
Yeah,
serve
it
a
was
mission?
it's like my senior year of high school, pretty much. Yeah.
Cool.
And so I'd always grown up like, oh yeah, I'll probably go on a mission, and then kind of decided then from that point, like beginning of my senior year, that I was like, this is what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A question I like to ask people who were in that position, and because I was in a similar boat, did you feel pressure?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. I think it's hard not to.
Yeah.
Even if it's not intentional,
Yeah.
from family members, and I mean, friends are all going. I'm seeing, pretty much a lot of, family members and friends around me going to serve.
Yeah.
So there was pressure to go.
Yeah.
But it didn't really negatively affect me.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what impact did that have on you at the time? Like, did it feel like it was influencing your decision too much, or do you feel like it was like healthy
No,
for you?
I honestly think it was helpful.
Yeah.
For me at least. I know some people don't like feeling pressure to go or to not go. But for me, I think it was helpful, having support from parents, support from church leaders.
Yeah.
Getting me to get out there. Even like, baseball coaches, we could talk about that, but I played baseball.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah, growing up through high school.
They kind of set you up. I love that, man. And the only reason I ask that is because I think we all need a little pressure. Yeah. Usually when people around us are, they have that high expectation to perform or to be a better person, it turns out really good, and it blesses us in ways that we can't even understand, you know. And I'm sure, especially now returning home from your mission, you're like, man, I'm grateful for those people who, maybe push me in that direction.
Absolutely.
So tell me about getting your mission call. Were you and all your buddies getting your call at the same time? Where did you get called to? Tell me about those few months leading up.
Yeah. So we were all getting our calls around the same time. I actually grew up in the like Chinese immersion program. So I spoke.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
Okay, sick.
So I spoke Chinese from first grade all the way up until my freshman year of high school.
Yeah.
I had learned Chinese. And so I was a few years removed from it. Like, I didn't take it for my last 3 years of high school.
Okay.
So I was pretty removed from it. But I had just always thought that, like, I'm just gonna go speak Chinese somewhere. Go to Taiwan or go stateside speaking Chinese. That's what a lot of people who do that program end up doing.
Yeah, yeah.
And so that was like my expectation.
Right.
And I opened my call, and it's South Korea.
No way.
Yeah. Korean.
Busan. Yeah,
Busan, South Korea.
Okay.
And so it's speaking Korean.
Yeah, yeah.
Which is
completely different.
It's Asian language, but that's about the only. There's some similarities between Chinese and Korean, but not a lot. Like it's a pretty different, completely different language.
Dang, so, that's crazy. Yeah. What was your reaction? Like, were you like bummed, or you kind of confused?
Dude, I was stoked. I was excited. Okay, yeah,
cool.
Because I had in my head that I was like, oh, I'm probably gonna go Chinese speaking, and it's like I'm just going to South Korea. Yeah. I didn't even know anything about Korea.
That's crazy.
Maybe BTS was the only thing I ever known about Korea.
I love it.
And so,
do you feel like having learned Chinese all those years growing up helped you learn Korean quicker? Or
I think
help you in that way.
Yeah. So at the beginning, I think it actually made it a little harder. Like when I was in MTC studying Korean, I had to like kind of break out of a lot of old mindsets of like speaking Chinese, because that's like that's just where like that language that I had learned growing up. So I had in the MTC, I like had to kind of forget, like forcefully forget a lot of Chinese.
Wow.
But then once you get into more advanced level Korean, it starts to become more like integrated with Chinese, because you realize a lot of Chinese, or a lot of Korean words actually come from Chinese root, like they're rooted in Chinese words. So it's like kind of the more you start learning, the more you realize that they actually are similar. So I think once I got to that point, like once I had kind of built like a foundation, then it was helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dang, that's really interesting to hear about. This is nowhere the same at all, but did you ever speak IB in high school? Like, or op,
yeah. I was never good at it, but I do remember that, yeah.
Sometimes, like, I learned Spanish on my mission, and sometimes when I try to speak IB now, I mean, it's just, like, the dumbest thing ever, but I always, like, just start saying Spanish words.
Yeah.
Anyway, it was not the same at all, but just, like,
similar,
trying to figure out, especially when you involve 3 languages, like, it just gets so trippy.
Yeah.
Especially when there is kind of some overlap, it can get really confusing. But tell me really quick about, so you and a lot of your homies are going out on missions. Once you have your call, was there anything that you did or you and your friends did to prepare to go on your mission? Did you go to a mission prep class? Was seminary important? Like what helped you kind of prepare for that reality?
Yeah, so I did. I mean, I went to like a mission prep class. Our ward just had one.
Cool.
That was helpful for me. Seminary was helpful for me. I had actually my senior year had a super awesome seminary teacher that helped me a lot.
Cool.
But I think preparation wise, the thing that helped me the most was just like taking responsibility for my own testimony, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I was doing all the right things. I was going to church. I was praying, but for like preparing for a mission, what helped me the most is like, I'm going to do these things for myself.
Yeah.
Right. I'm going to start doing this because I know that's what I need to do. Not that it's what I grew up doing, you know?
Yeah. No, that's an important thing to experience, and hopefully it's sooner rather than later. A lot of the time people do go through that feeling of needing to be independent spiritually on their mission.
Yeah.
But
so
that's
of course it wasn't like a overnight thing, of course.
Right.
It took a long time.
Yeah, but that's cool that you were able to identify that before you're even out there.
Yeah.
And you know, maybe that did kind of, the process came later. What was it like setting foot in Korea, you know, having been raised here in Utah or in the States? It's a pretty different place over. I've been over there and it's awesome, but it's a whole new world.
Oh yeah. Yeah. It feels like a different planet over there. It's so cool. But so getting there, I remember my first night, and I love my trainer, but he didn't speak any English. He was native Korean.
Dang.
And so I was like the most alone I've ever felt in my whole life that first night.
Yeah.
And thinking to myself that I have 2 years left of this. It was pretty tough.
Yeah.
Of course. I I mean, once we got going a little bit, started doing stuff, that feeling kind of goes away because you fall in love with the work.
Yeah.
But it takes a while.
Yeah.
It's not like you think you're ready and then you get out there and it's like, what did I get myself into?
Yeah.
You know?
For sure.
Yeah.
What helped you kind of escape those feelings of loneliness? Was, did prayer come important? Were you reading the scriptures, learning how to be a more involved missionary with preaching my gospel? Like, what were some practical things you did to deal with that loneliness and stuff?
Yeah. So prayer was huge. I would have nights where I was on my knees for a long time, praying for the companionship of the Spirit, praying for our missionary work so that we could, stay busy. And because that was one thing, is if we were busy, we were doing things, that it's easier to, focus. And I think that's one thing that helped is we just went out. Like we were outside. We were talking to people.
Cool.
And like missionary, I guess, preach my gospel. One of my favorite parts about finding new people to teach talks about like keeping your lines in the water. Like
nice. Yeah.
Staying, if you're out outside of the apartment for 10 hours a day,
Yeah.
like we were gonna be using those 10 hours.
Yeah. Yeah.
Instead of
for those that don't know that analogy, can you explain that?
So I think it's Elder Cook, actually.
That sounds right.
It's right there. Yeah.
Is this it?
Keeping your lines in the water right here. And so
let's go.
He talks about
Elder Cook. This guy knows his preach my gospel.
No, this is just one of my favorite spots. That's why.
No, I love it.
But or was it Elder Oaks?
No, it's Elder Cook. It's down here at the bottom, I think. I guess it's both of
They both, I think they both
Okay, yeah.
They both mentioned
President Oaks
at one point.
sets it up and Elder Cook
like an alley-oop.
hits the dunk, bro.
Yeah. But he just talks about like fishermen who are taking all this time preparing to fish and driving to the spot and getting their lines ready and then he talks about a different fisherman who goes directly to the lake and he has his line in the water all day instead of taking time to prepare and maybe being lazy because I know fishing's fun. You like hanging out, like drinking soda and hanging out with your friends, but
for sure.
You're not going to catch any fish unless you're casting your line in the water, right? And so it's the same thing with the missionary work. It can be fun to, hang out, or even when you're buddies with your companion, even good things like preparing to go talk to people on the street can sometimes take away opportunities that you could have had to share the gospel to somebody. Yeah,
that's so well said. President Oaks goes on after he explains that whole analogy. He says the same principle applies to missionaries, whom the master called fishers of men. A missionary's line should drop into the fishing water the moment he or she leaves the apartment.
Yeah,
and you really, that becomes second nature to you as a missionary. Yeah. As soon as you're in public or in a situation where you could talk to or meet people, you're just so vigilant to look for any opportunity to connect with someone, to start a relationship, to start a conversation.
Yeah.
Korea is a pretty different place from, whether you're serving in the States or in Latin America or places in Europe. There's a very strong culture there. I grew to respect and love like their culture just spending a couple weeks there. But what was your day-to-day schedule like? Were you teaching a lot of people? What were some of the things that you did to find people to teach? Just kind of walk me through that.
Can I give a little background about like Korean culture and like religion and stuff like that?
Bro.
Korean historically is Buddhist.
Yeah.
And so if you're talking to like the older generation, a lot of them don't even really have a concept of like Jesus Christ at all. And then there are a lot of younger people who are Christian, just because, you know, the gospel was preached there throughout the like 1900s, whatever.
Yeah.
But generally, they're not super religious. They're like, they're really hyper focused on education and their careers. It's super competitive over there.
Yeah.
And so they don't even really have a lot of time to like think about life outside of what, you know, their job or, you know, money. Even like family is not as much of a priority as it is for us in the
for
States.
Sure. Huh.
And so people a lot of times were not really accepting at all of what we wanted to share. And so it's a lot of rejection. And oftentimes we would talk to hundreds of people in a day and not come home with a single phone number.
Yeah.
And we weren't teaching many lessons. I had a few areas where we had, you know, 5 or 6 in a week, and that was a ton.
Wow.
That was like the most
Like
I
once
ever
a
saw.
day, maybe.
Yeah, it was like one a day,
it's pretty
sometimes
big.
2.
Yeah.
Yeah, like if we had 2 lessons in a day, that was like
You're
a
living the
dub.
dream.
Yeah, that was like success.
Yeah.
But then we'd go weeks with no lessons.
Yeah.
Like we'd go transfers with no lessons.
Yeah.
So it's different. It was hard comparing myself to my friends who
Yeah.
are serving, you know, they're in third world countries, so their lifestyle is a little different, but you know, they're baptizing people every week and
Yeah.
having tons of success, you know, having like baptisms wise. So I had to kind of learn, and PMG helped me in chapter
Yeah.
1. Is that where you're going?
Yeah, that's where I'm
Yeah,
heading. But
talking
go
about
for it.
what defines a successful missionary.
Yeah.
That was like one of my all-time favorite sections that helped me probably more than any other spot. And our mission president talked about it a lot, just because a lot of people in our mission struggle with this.
Right.
You know.
No, I
Yeah.
mean it's not only a struggle on a mission, but just in life.
Mm-hmm.
Like the comparison. My mission president's wife would always say that comparison is the thief of joy.
Yeah.
And I think that's so true with how online all of our lives are. This is from just a not missionary world, but just outside of that, like with social media, we just are constantly comparing ourselves to others and the lives that those are living. And at the end of the day, like that's not how God looks at us, you know? And this section about a successful missionary really kind of breaks it down for you. But how would you define a successful mission, having served a mission, and where did you find fulfillment knowing that you're doing what you need to be doing?
Yeah. So I'll quote the first sentence right there.
Okay,
But
hit me.
it says that your success as a missionary is primarily determined by your desire and commitment.
Boom.
And so-
Word for word, baby. Look at this guy.
So desire and commitment, those are the 2 things that I used to define my success
Cool.
as a missionary. Where was my desire? Like, did I want to be here? Did I, you know, want to be sharing the gospel to these people?
Yeah.
And if some days I woke up and I didn't,
Yeah.
right? Some you have bad days. And then commitment, like, was I doing everything I could to tell everybody about Jesus?
Yeah.
And that's what it was. It wasn't about whether they accepted it or not. It was, am I doing everything I can?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Giving them the opportunity.
Yeah.
Right. And that's really all it is. And then they have their agency to either slam their door in your face or and learn more. You know? What stories do you have? Do you have any people who made an impact on your life that you met? And, you know, it doesn't need to be someone that, you know, maybe got baptized, or just maybe someone you met and taught. Do you have any stories that are worth sharing?
Yeah, absolutely. I have a few. One story I love telling is about a 15-year-old kid from the Philippines. Actually, he wasn't even Korean.
Oh, nice.
So his name's Jaws.
Jaws.
Yeah.
That's sick.
Yeah, pretty sweet name.
That's so cool.
Yeah, Jaws. But he made the biggest impact on me. So basically, long story short, he lives in Korea. He's originally from the Philippines. When we had met him, he had only been there for 4 or 5 months.
Okay.
So he didn't know any Korean.
Yeah. And why was he there?
And so his family is complicated, but his mom ended up getting married to a Korean guy.
Okay.
And so they moved out.
Cool.
With them.
Nice.
And so.
And how did you find him? Sorry.
Yeah.
Maybe you're getting to this, but I want to hear.
So we found him. Actually, we were playing basketball at the college campus.
Nice.
And he was there.
That's sick.
And so, hey, that's one thing I will say though is use your talents.
Yeah.
Because we found so many kids playing basketball. That's a side note.
Really?
But yeah.
Dang, that's so cool.
I found so much success with just going and playing basketball with like high school age kids.
Yeah.
It was so fun.
That's so rad.
Like such a cool way to be able to connect.
Yeah.
Before it's like you're establishing a connection, a relationship before you introduce the gospel. And so a lot of times it helped them be way more, like accepting of what we wanted to tell them. So yeah, side note, but
no, I love that. That's cool. So you met him playing basketball, and then what happened?
Yeah. And so we met him playing basketball, and we kept playing with him. We set it up like kind of like a weekly thing, and we would share something after every time.
Nice.
And we ended up giving him a Book of Mormon, and so we got one in Tagalog in his language. Gave it to him.
How were you talking to him? Could he speak English well, or?
So he was okay at English.
Okay.
But it was a lot of translating.
Nice.
Yeah, it was fun. And there were some Filipino missionaries in my mission. Oh, so we actually had like video lessons.
Nice.
That comes later, but
yeah.
So yeah, we gave him a Book of Mormon, and he loved it. Like he would send us pictures of him reading it in the morning. Like, yo guys, like I'm already in 2nd Nephi. Like,
what a legend.
Crazy. But falls in love with it pretty much from the jump.
Yeah.
And so we teach him. Ended up, finishing the lessons, and he hasn't still up to this point been able to get baptized because he's under 18 and he needs parents' permission.
Okay.
And his parents didn't approve.
Yeah.
So that was tough for us.
Yeah, I bet.
And it was tough for him too because he just wanted it. But I still talk to him. Like my parents actually came and picked me up from Korea.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. And so when they came, we went and met up with him.
Yo.
And like went and got food. It was fun.
That's so cool.
Yeah, he's a cool guy.
Dang, man. That's so, and that's the thing is the Lord is so aware of everyone, but especially those kind of people who are looking for ways to improve their life spiritually. Yeah. I think he is looking out for them. So there's no need to worry, like in that situation where he's not able to, have the approval of his parents and be baptized and make that covenant, like God's looking out for him, and it'll all happen in his time. And what a blessing it was for you to kind of be a part of his journey, and hopefully his journey will continue to go and you can continue to be a part of it,
Absolutely. Yeah.
What were, do you have any other stories that are worth sharing that you can think of?
Yeah. So, this one's a little more personal. So we were teaching a guy, who had a pretty serious alcohol addiction. He was drinking every day. And he would show up to our lessons drunk. And I mean, I've had some experiences with, family members and stuff having alcohol problems. And so I've seen firsthand what it can do to you. And I saw firsthand what it can do to him, or what it did to him. It was debilitating, right? and that it just it controlled his life. But one day he came to us. He was actually a member referral. He came
Okay.
to us one day and he asked for a blessing, a priesthood blessing. And we hadn't even really taught him about it. So I think the member that he is friends with kind of told
Kind of
him, like,
told
hey,
him he
go talk
could.
to the missionaries. Like, they
Yeah.
can help you with this.
Wow.
And so we gave him a blessing, and that was on a Thursday. And so we gave him that blessing, and we promised him that that if he did what we were asking him to do, like we were, we had invited him to read the Book of Mormon. We promised him that if he would read the Book of Mormon, that he would receive power from God to be able to uh, to quit the alcohol, or to
Wow.
receive help. And so that was Thursday, and he showed up to church on Sunday, and he was so excited. And he's like, I got to tell you guys, like, I haven't had a drink since you gave me that blessing.
No way.
And he's like, that's the longest I've gone in years without a drink. And so that day, that was awesome.
Yeah.
And he still struggles with it though.
Yeah.
And I actually got transferred out of that area, so I'm not even sure where he's at now.
Yeah.
But that was a pretty powerful experience for me, seeing the priesthood power.
Yeah.
And the power that it can bring to someone's life, even, when they're so deep in addiction or any other sort of, crippling thing, like
Yeah.
alcohol or something like that,
Yeah. No, that is such a powerful story, and I think there's a lot to take away from that. And the atonement, it's such a beautiful thing, because I've had conversations with I think mostly my brothers about how a lot of these challenges that we face in life, they aren't things that you just overcome and then they're no longer a part of your life.
Yeah.
Like, you think about people who have anxiety or depression or an addiction in this guy's situation, and those things are, most of the time, they're a part of your life and a part of who you are for the majority of your life. And it's not like this thing that happens and it's like, oh man, I'm glad that's in the past and I don't need to deal with it anymore. But it's always a thing that you need to be monitoring, that you need to be working towards to stay on top of it. But it's always going to be there. And we're all subject to that temptation. We're subject to that adversity. And luckily, God is merciful, and he sent his son to set up the atonement for us. And the atonement, not that we should plan our repentance and sin with the intention to repent, because that's a very dangerous sin to do. But it, like Elder Holland says, it covers everything. It goes as deep as you can go.
Yeah.
And the Lord understands when we slip up, and we slip up when we make the same mistake over and over and over again in this guy's situation with the addiction. But that doesn't mean that wasn't a success and that wasn't a W on that Sunday, having not drank for 3 days or so. Maybe he's drawn strength from that experience, and that was, I'm sure, faith building for you. But one thing that, as you were talking in Preach My Gospel, in the first chapter, a few pages before the successful missionary, talks about the authority and the power of your calling. It says, "You are called and set apart to proclaim glad tidings of great joy, even the everlasting gospel. Like the sons of Mosiah, you can teach with the authority and power of God. Under Christ's direction, the authority to preach the gospel was restored through the prophet Joseph Smith. When you are set apart as a missionary, you receive this authority. With it comes the right, privilege, responsibility to represent the Lord and his gospel." So, I mean, you and your companion were the perfect exemplar of this, of carrying that authority and that power to give this guy a blessing, not only to bless him with comfort and strength, but like actual power and strength to overcome these temptations. And what a cool thing to be able to do, you know. But dang, dude, that's a crazy experience. Just wrapping up, I mean, you've shared a lot of cool thoughts. I want to, take in mind those that may be watching. I know we have a friend who just got called to Korea,
Yeah.
Berkeley's little brother.
Yeah, we've talked a ton about it. Same mission as me.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, one of our good friends, he's about to leave to the same mission as Bentley. And so what are some things that you've told him in preparation for his mission?
Yeah. And so obviously for him, it's like he's so excited, right? Yeah. And I remember feeling the same way, just being so excited to go. I think he's asked me a lot about like the, logistical things, what to take, what not to take.
Yeah.
But we had a conversation the other day about like the Korean people and how awesome they are. And I remember telling him like, just to fall in love, just immerse yourself with those people because they're so awesome.
Yeah.
And the culture's so different, but you learn to love it so much. So that's one thing. And it doesn't have to be Korea. It could be anywhere you're called.
Yeah. Just go all in.
Yeah. Just immerse yourself, and it's going to be a lot easier on you mentally and, emotionally, spiritually.
Yeah.
If you do that.
Yeah. Oh, that's such good advice. And I think the earlier that you do that, the better. I think sometimes it takes a few months, maybe half a year, maybe a full year at times.
2 years.
But it's sometimes. No, seriously. And it's when you make that transition from focusing on yourself to focusing on others. Oftentimes when you are feeling that loneliness, that depression, that insecurity, it's because you're focused on yourself and your own needs. Yeah. You're not in a comfortable situation. You have a crappy bed, your AC's out, whatever it is, you're focusing on yourself. But as soon as you learn to turn outwards like Jesus did, man, it gets so much more fun and it gets so much better. And you see more success because the people that you're teaching and interacting with can see your joy and they get curious and they want to know, man, these are some happy kids. I wonder what makes them so happy.
Absolutely.
Kind of sets it up. But dude, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me. And Korea sounds like a cool mission. And so if you're going to Korea, get stoked.
Yeah, Korea is awesome.
Bentley's an awesome example of what a good missionary looks like. But bro, thank you.
Thank you so much.
You're the man.
Yeah.
And we'll have to do this again sometime.
Yeah. I'd love it. I'd love that.
Heck yeah.
Be back.
Okay, thanks for joining. We'll catch you on the next episode. Bye.